Caitlyn Clark just broke another record, but this time, she didn't even have to do anything for it.
But she was right there in front. Clark, deep three.
In her last game of the regular season, Caitlyn Clark didn't need a career night to make headlines. She made history in a different way. With 20,711 fans in attendance, it was the largest crowd in WNBA history, all there to witness the rising star in action. And even with limited minutes, she showed some of that magic. Starting off in her usual unselfish way, not trying to force the spotlight.
Defensively, and they're going to mix some things up against the Fever. They go inside.
She wasn't really looking to score in this game, but when the opportunities came, Caitlyn reminded everyone that she could at will.
To tonight's matchup. You gotta take a look at Caitlyn Clark right there.
But the name of the game for Caitlyn this time was all about assists. She was in full playmaker mode.
Well, she's been struggling with her shots, just 1 of 12 in the last 2. And Smith back the other way is fouled. And they're gonna...
However, known for her deep-range bombs, she couldn't let the 20,000 in attendance go home without one.
It looked like she was positioning herself for a rebound, but she was right there in front. Clark, deep three. Well, she's going to her left, and that gives...
The Fever came out blazing, going on an unstoppable 15-0 run right from the start, leaving the Mystics with no answer.
There she is again, now attacking Atkins, lays that one up and in.
And just to put a cherry on top, Caitlyn hit the crowd with a double dose of her magic.
Here's Clark. That one rattles through for the rookie.
Unfortunately for the crowd, the third time was not the charm. Caitlyn's heat check missed the mark. But luckily for the Mystics, they caught a break, because the Fever had no intention of playing Caitlyn full minutes, opting to save her for the upcoming playoffs. As seen in the physicality of the previous games, resting Caitlyn was a smart decision, but without their star on the floor, the Fever began to struggle. What once looked like a commanding lead slowly slipped away, with the Mystics clawing back. Before anyone knew it, the game had flipped, and the Fever found themselves down, with the Mystics taking a 3-point lead. But in the next quarter, 22 returned to the floor, though this time she was clearly taking her foot off the gas. Avoiding contact, she shifted her focus away from scoring, and instead concentrated on finding her teammates.
Major impact, 10 points for her, 4-5 shooting.
Caitlyn didn't force any plays, sticking to her strategy of finding the open man and letting the game come to her naturally.
Two-player action in the corner. It's Wallace. She splashes that.
Even with the Mystics keeping up and pushing back, she was on a dime streak.
Gotten it done because they've been playing a 4-out, 5-out action with that high screen. And they have been doing a great job of putting Indiana in rotation.
And when Caitlyn did decide to pull the trigger and drive to the basket, luckily, the refs didn't let it go too far, calling a foul before it turned into clotheslines. But with the Fever slacking down, the Mystics took it the extra mile.
Atkins. Under a minute to go. Van Loo off the kick to Atkins. Got it. The pass.
The Fever ended the half looking sluggish, but when the third quarter started, Caitlyn Clark came out in full Steve Nash mode.
To haul it in. Clark working off Boston, now picked up by Dolson. 6 on the shot clock, Boston. Got that up over Atkins.
Even with Caitlyn's dimes, the lead kept growing for the Mystics, stretching to 47-59. It was clear that the Fever were holding back, saving their energy for the bigger battles ahead. With no reason to go all out in this game, they played it smart, conserving their efforts. On the other hand, the Mystics were treating this like a playoff game, going all in and playing with urgency.
Rotated well, Lexi Hall bottled up Dolson on the slip. Atkins got that one to go.
But even with the Fever's lower effort, Caitlyn Clark wasn't about to let the crowd leave disappointed. She continued to dish out some serious assists, threading passes that would impress even the most seasoned basketball fans.
64-52, Washington with the lead. Drop off to Smith, finishes it, and the foul.
However, with 22 only playing a total of 20 minutes, it was clear that this wasn't going to be a walk in the park to win. When the fourth quarter rolled around, the coach made the decision to leave her out completely, putting the game in the hands of the bench. While the reserves fought hard and managed to keep it close, the firepower just wasn't enough to push the Fever over the line.
Pull up, off the mark, and the Mystics come away.
That marked the end of an insane regular season that we've all been lucky to witness. Caitlin Clark and the Fever have shined a whole new light on the WNBA as a whole, drawing in more fans and elevating the game to new heights. But this is just the beginning. More is yet to come as Caitlyn prepares to play in her first ever playoff game. And as I predict, she's about to shock the world once again.